Welcome back, ladies, and today we're going to talk about I am what I am shoes. Now this really is showing my age. In fact, it was going out of popularity, I think, even when I was growing up. It's a saying that I picked up. I remember as a kid watching Popeye, and he used to go, I am what I am, and I have no idea, I don't even know if that was really his big thing, that he really was promoting that's just who he was. So if you didn't like it, then stuff it. But that's how I'm taking it on board anyway. And and it was a long time ago, but I just like the name because, it goes, I am what I am. And I've got this thing in my head, little Popeye. Didn't he have a pipe or something? I'm pretty sure. But anyway, and he ate a lot of spinach. Probably a good thing, not bad. So, and he was quite strong. It gave him his strength. So this is one of the things that I kind of liked about it, is that I am what I am. Shows people that you're unapologetic about who you actually are. And man, this is such a huge one. I get this all the time with my coaching, all the time. We're constantly conditioned, from early on to be something that we're not. And this is the whole point of my thing, I am what I am shoes. It's like, these are my shoes. If you don't frippin' like him, go away. Just take your shoes and walk the other way. Person, lady, guy, mum, dad, whoever it is, grandpa, boss, friends, or whoever it is. If they don't like it, it's not your problem. And that's how I look at it, So one of the things that I actually had this not so long ago with somebody saying to me, I'm worried about, they say this one thing and it really triggers me. So I said, there you go. You already know what the trigger is. Okay. So as soon as those words are uttered, you now know that you go into this downward spiral going, I'm not good enough. Okay. I need to be something different. I need to be, thinner, prettier, go to a gym more, or whatever it is that they, this is just an example. Whatever the expectation is that you have to be different to what you are in order to get my approval. I go, do you know what? You can keep your damn approval. I don't need that. I don't want someone in my life who brings me down. Who wants that? Now, look, I do also get it that sometimes we don't have a choice because they're actually a relative. And, we can pick our friends, but we can't pick our relatives. And sometimes it is a lot harder, especially if they're close relative, like a mom or a dad, or, a sibling that's actually in the house with you. And, especially when you're starting to do the comparing thing and parents are comparing, and so it just is a minefield of opportunity for us to just feel crap, really, at the end of the day. So I've heard this presented in different ways. Wayne Dwyer used to talk a lot about it. He used to go, and I don't even know where he adopted it, but he was very good at this, because I think Wayne might have been an internal frame of reference person where, other people's opinions didn't really matter. So it would have maybe come a little easier to someone who's an internal frame of reference. And if you're not, actually, I don't know if I've done a video on all of this. I think I might have earlier on in the channel, but it's all about, internal frame of reference and external frame of reference. When you're internal frame of reference, you're your own judge and you're not really affected by other people. I think I actually have covered this. And then external frame of reference is where, you are very affected by what people think, what people say, and so you adjust accordingly. And it's just a wiring thing, and it's just an awareness of which one you actually are. So some people will find this a lot easier. My internal frame of reference people will find this way easy by comparison to an external frame of reference person. Okay, so neither is right nor wrong. There's challenges for an internal frame of reference, but if you're too much external frame of reference, you want to adopt. And this is one of the ways that we can do it. It's like, do you know what? I'm getting upset by that, or they're expecting me to be something that I'm not comfortable. They're making me wear shoes that I don't want to wear. They're wanting me to walk on a path that I don't want to walk down. I'm feeling judged. I'm feeling criticized. Well, that's not a path of nurture, support, and connection and networking, with people that are going to help me, that are going to uplift me. So I'm either, and there's one of two things that you're going to do about it. You're either going to get rid of them. You just get rid of them. The delete, just don't just disconnect. You just don't need it. Some people are just so toxic you actually have to do that. And then there's the other ones where, it's like you can't really get rid of them, so you actually have to change the meaning. So that's the other way that you can actually deal with it. And I might actually, a lot of these, might actually do another tool in the emotional, resilience toolkit about that, on how to change the meaning of something easier for you, so that when you are presented with this, but first of all, you've got to identify that it's actually happening. So when we've got someone who you feel is judging you and you don't feel good inside, your system's feeling distraught, you're feeling upset, obviously the key markers are upset, angry, sad, even fearful, worried, anxious, frustrated. You label any of, you can pull out any of those negative emotions and go, is this because I feel I'm being judged by this person? And then here's how I liken it. It's like, I call it like giving back the gift. Like if you get given a really nice gift, you take it on board, right? Okay, and you go, thank you for that. I really love that. Some people find that hard to do, especially if they're twos. My number twos in Enneagram, we're very good at giving and not really great at receiving. But it's not just twos. This goes across the spectrum, but I find that there tends to be a lot more twos that struggle with this. But what happens if it's a negative gift? If someone actually gives you a negative gift and say, I don't like you because you're not, like say for me, like, you're not blonde. I go, well, okay. That's my thing is I give the gift back. I go, well, okay, you can have that. I don't need that in my life. I'm not gonna dye my hair blonde just so that I can get your approval. End of story. That's just so not gonna happen. So I'm a brunette. You either take it or leave it, baby. If you don't like it, get stuffed. If it's a problem for you, please take your shoes, get off my path, and you go in the opposite direction. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I won't even bat an other eyelid over that. That is just like, be gone, foul beast. If you are coming onto my path, like to tread on my toes, to tell me how to wear my shoes, not gonna happen, baby. Get lost. Not interested. Okay? So give the gift back. That's one way that you can do it, to handle with that. But you have to be conscious of when it's actually happening, and it's always triggered by how you're actually feeling. So when that happens, sometimes it gets away on us, and then we have to go away and reflect about what it was that triggered you. And it might be more than one thing. They might go, well, you should be blonde and tall and skinny. Well, even if I lost more weight, which is still possible, I'm never going to be any taller than what I actually am. So you're actually asking me to be something that I actually biologically am not going to be able to do unless I had some kind of surgery, which I do know some people who have actually done this in order to have longer legs, or to whatever. And it's just like, or you could go, do you know what? Your problem, not mine. So I remember this was years ago, and I was young and impressionable. I was 18. I was going over to see my sister in Australia for the first time, and I was traveling on my own, and my folks had paid for a flight ticket for me to go and visit her. And my father was very excited because there was a friend of his from the golf course whose son was traveling over, I think, to stay. I don't know, I think it was in Sydney or something with some friends. Anyway, it was absolutely soul destroying sitting next to that guy. He was unbelievable. The whole time he sat there, and it was literally, you're not blonde. I'm going, no, I'm not, and it's just like, oh, you're a bit chubby around the thighs, aren't you? And you're like, oh my God, how long is this flight going to be? And I was just over it by the time I got off that. Now, back then I didn't have the tools. I don't have all the stuff that we've got now that I'm teaching you, which is why I want our kids, like our young ones, like, our daughters particularly, but even guys, like you should look a certain way, you should be a certain way, and that's even more accentuated. Here we go again with the whole social media blah blah, but like it is over dramatized, like you have to be something, all these pumped up lips and face lifts and whatever, whatever. You have to be something other than what you are in order for me to love you. What a load of BS. So it was really, really interesting because he struggled. Obviously, he landed up going to the same university as me, and like he got off the plane and he was like, yeah, we should meet up in Sydney. And I'm like, do you know what, if I never see you again, I'd be quite happy with that. I just was like, I was so self-conscious by the time I got off that damn plane. I was 18, I was impressionable, I was like unaware, I didn't have the tools. Now I'm giving you the tools, I'm giving you the exercises, I'm saying these shoes work, you may not consider these ones. Awareness, when somebody else is doing this and they're treading on your toes. What about, the emotional toolkit, someone has got to you and you're not feeling great. Let's get that emotional toolkit, all those little exercises and teachings that I've got in my handbag, sweetheart. Like, let's pull out that, whatever it is, and we'll try that and we'll get rid of it so that it's not going to scar you for life. So I was amazed. Like, he really struggled to have a partner at university, and he was a little bit confused as to why I wasn't overly friendly. And I was like, you know what, I'm absolutely fine with that. And he did land up with a really nice lady, and it's absolutely amazing. And do you know what? She was blonde, but she was not skinny. She was actually quite a hippie girl, like not as in, gypsy hippie. She was big built. She wasn't fat. She was a big built kind of girl. She was very calm and sedate, but quite not what he was saying he was after, which I thought was very interesting. And I think they landed up getting married, actually. Anyway, so there you go. So, but do you want to hook up with somebody like that? No, thank you. You can, for me, I think she tamed him down and got him. Hopefully, for her sake, I hope that happened. But I was never tight with him, so I don't actually know. But I just don't want you or unimpressionable people to get far down the line, say, like in that situation, may have had kids. If he wasn't a pleasant guy, if it was because stuff he hadn't dealt with because of his childhood, maybe his parents were judging him, and he was projecting it out. If you don't deal with that BS from early, then you're going to project it out onto others, or you're going to be, you run the risk of being an absolute victim yourself, because you actually take it on board and think that that's how you should be. So what I love with Wayne Dwyer's saying, and I don't know where he adopted it from, but he always said, be free of the good opinion of others. Like, free yourself from, so it's their opinion. Like, so what? Like, if I don't like your opinion, I go, okay, well, you're entitled to have your opinion. I'm not going to judge you for it. It's just like, okay, that's interesting. It just doesn't work for me. And I just block it right there. It just doesn't come in. So, that's another technique. That's another thing that you can do. And it's so powerful when you really can wear your I am what I am shoes and be unapologetic about it. Man, I tell you what, that gives you so much liberation, so much freedom, because you are rock solid. That helps you get your deep roots. It's like you become unshakable. When you have started going, right, do you know what? And sometimes, they may have a point. Maybe they've got, there is a validity in that. Like, if it's coming with good intention, where it's like, I'm concerned, say, for example, I'm worried about your drinking, or I'm worried about your overeating, and it's not because they want you to look better for them. It's because, say, for example, it's going to impact your health. Like, your kidneys are failing, your liver's not coping. It's your cholesterol is so high that it means that we're going to have a short lifetime span with you. Then that's a different story, isn't it? That's when you go, oh, okay, look, actually, that is something I'll take on board and I will address. But they're coming with the good intention. What are their intention shoes? You remember those, what's the it's not what they're hiding, but it's the, it's what's the motivation, that the driver for that gift that they're giving you. So sometimes you have to have that presented, but don't misinterpret it. If it's meant in a good way, And also don't use that as an excuse that I'm doing it for your own good, especially if mums and dads do this too, and even well-intentioned friends, anybody actually can do this. It's just like, well, I'm doing it for your own good. No, well, are you doing it for their own good, or are you doing it because you want something to change for you? If it genuinely is to help someone get into their own shoes, on their own path in a healthy way that's going to really help and support them, then bonus, yes, do it. But if you're actually driven by an ulterior motive, be it small or large, just take ownership of that and go, do you know what? It's none of my business. It is their path, and they're either going to get it or not, and that is, so it's understanding the distinctions between those different types of situations, those different types of shoes that you would put on in different scenarios. Okay. So, and then the other one, Gil Boyne, was a very famous hypnotherapist, and I learned some of his teachings for my hypnotherapy that I've used over the years. And one of the techniques that we actually do sometimes for deeper seated issues is where we can go back and I love the one part where he talks a lot about body armor and stuff, but in this particular instance, I love this one exercise where he goes, where we help the person recognize that they were not put on this earth for the benefit of the other person. Like, I was not put on this earth to make you happy, this, or to be something that I'm not in order to satisfy you. I am who I am, and you are on your path, and this is where I've developed it from, that where it's like, I'm sorry that you don't get it on a subconscious level, on a conscious level, on a super conscious level. This is my path, and you either align with it or you don't. And if you don't, then so be it. You can walk on a path similar to me, or you can go diagonally over. I'm quite happy to wave. I might pop over for a quick visit, but I always come back to mine. And you're welcome on mine, and if you want to walk with me, fantastic, that's sweet. I'm unapologetic. This is what it is. I am what I am. And if you don't like it, it's like, well, so be it. That is just what it is. I am what I am, and I just want every single lady in the world, even man, every child, every single person in the world should be able to go, that doesn't work for me, and there's no judgment. It's like, that's an interesting pair of shoes. They may not work for you, and quite often they don't. It is not for us to say, nah, I want you to wear it this way. It is not for us to say, step out of those shoes and get into these shoes. It is not for us to do that to somebody else. We are on here on our path, on our way. And I don't care whether this expands out to societal, and we get this pressure. I want you to do it this way. You will not be accepted into the, dare I say, the herd mentality, the mass mentality, the mass where, do you want to run like absolute nutters? I just had an image of lemmings, like, the Pied Piper plays a tune and everybody's like, woo, but well, everybody else is running, all the other lemmings are going there. Do you want to be a lemming? I don't want to be a lemming. I'm going to go, do you know what, if you keep running that way, you're going to, which is what happened with the Pied Piper, he's going to play the music and you're all just going to land up in the river and drown. You're like, it's like, get all your, just take a side slip off here and just check, and if that's really what you want to do, fantastic, go for it. Like, I'm not going to stop you, but I would like to have it where each little, lemming in this case scenario goes, let me just put my park off and investigator shoes on, and inspect, and then I just have my glasses on as well and do some examination here and go off and do a bit of research, and then check internally with my my sensor, my goosebump shoes, and go, right, is that aligning with me? Is that not aligning with me? Yes, it is. Fantastic. I'll go. If it's not, it's like, no, actually, do you know what, I'm going to go over here. Now, there, you may be the lone lemming, baby. You might be the only one who's walking on that path, but you'll notice that there's other lemmings that go, do you know what, I prefer your path, I'm going to go over here. Now, those lemmings are no longer going to be lemmings, because they're now starting to turn into and morph into whatever it is that they are. Those banyan trees that I was talking about, it's like, man, I love your shoes, baby. You know, they are funky, they are different, I like this little sort of patchwork quilt you got going on here with that kind of pattern and that kind of bling, and you know, but it's not false. It all speaks to you as the character, as the soul that's walking within the shoe, you know. And when we can walk together as light beings in soul shoes, our souls walking in the souls, walking along this path, going, you know, I'm here to support you on the way, guys. You know, this is it. And we're all strong and we're all empowered like warriors. You know, it's like, you know, you are clear about what it is that you want. You know where you're going. You go, this is my path. These are my people. This is what I want to be doing. And you're unapologetic. If somebody comes along and goes, you lot are nuts, you go, yep, thanks for that. I am, totally. Ha! And you know what? We love it. We love it. That's just the way it is. You know, like I had someone in the group saying one of her passions is that she really wants to have enough time to knit. And I'm like, that is so foreign to my world. I have never had a burning desire to knit. I very much doubt that I ever will. But, you know, I was like, do you know what? That's actually a dying art, isn't it? If you think about it. And, you know, she might have a special, like, a friend of mine was just over in Thailand. Oh, I posted in the Facebook group if you want to go over and have a look. And you know, there was a bit where they had, insects that they, you know, that you could eat on the menu when they went to an elephant sanctuary. And they had wrapped, I don't know if it was crocheted or knitted or, you know, but it was some kind of embroidery all the way up the trees to design them. And I've seen people do stuff like that. So who knows, you know, like knitting could be a new thing. Who knows? Like, and I'm like, you know what, go girl, I think that's awesome. Like, you're bringing back like an ancient art. If it gives you peace of mind, if it's soothing, if it floats your boat, fantastic. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going, do you know what, do it. Make time for your knitting. If that gives you time to reconnect, to, you know, de-stress, that gives you an outlet for your creativity, that makes you positively unique, why the hell wouldn't you? You know, I'm not going to judge her because she likes knitting. What? You know, so this is the same thing. It doesn't matter how small or big the thing is. Let's get in our own shoes. You know, let's get every single person that it joins, or, you know, if you know anybody, please share this video, share them. Say, look, there's somebody, she's out there, she flies in the face of everybody else, where she says it's okay to be who you are, you can wear your shoes your way, but I actually don't know how to do that. Let's go and have a listen to what she has to say. Listen, you know, hop on the YouTube channel if you don't want to engage in the community. When you're ready, come over to the Facebook community and start walking on your own path, going in the direction that you want, you know, your path, your way. You know, this is what it's all about, ladies. So, anybody who is interested in adopting I am what I am shoes, put hashtag I am what I am and put it in the comments box, whether it's in YouTube or in Facebook, so that we can start picking up, just like people can, you know, when they type it in, can find like-minded people wanting to wear the same shoes, so that we can all support each other down the same path, where it's okay, you know, knitting or otherwise, doesn't matter. Whatever your thing is, whatever your bag is, let's do it. Okay, hope you like that. If you did, please thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and please can you pass this on to somebody that you know that may make a difference to. This is what it's all about. It's not a numbers game for me. It's the amount of impact that I can actually make, and I want to reach as many lovely ladies as possible, gents too if they're interested. So I really hope that made a difference to you, and those 3 different ways that you can say no thank you to unwanted gifts, and so you can don your own shoes. So I hope you love that. Thank you so much, ladies. You have a delightful day, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Bye.